We just had the most fantastic conversation with Josephine IP, the organizer of the upcoming competition in Hong Kong. She's a professor, a athlete, a coach, and an amazing administrator. Her passion and love for the sport comes through our conversation clearly, and an extra benefit for us is her medical knowledge that she so gracefully shares with us about the benefits of the sport across all ages. Welcome to Coffee and Conversations with Champions. Enjoy this very special interview. So can you tell us a little bit about the competition, what we can expect, Josephine?
The competition in Hong Kong will be held from 24th onwards till the end of June.
Yes.
So this time it is Asian Pacific, that is Oceania region, and also the African. So this is the first time we have lifters from 3 continents to come together and compete. So this is the biggest championship we have in Hong Kong. Since 2008, we have our first Asian level championship. That was Asian bench press. And then we have the Asian powerlifting. And this time, it is a combination of everything. We got equipped, we got the classic, both powerlifting and bench press. So a lifter can join maximum 2 items. Nowadays, a lifter cannot participate in 4. But in the past, if there is such a good combined championships, people would take the opportunity to participate as many as possible in a week. So we have around 400 entries this time. So it will be very excited.
That's 400 entries is going to be fantastic. Do we know from?
Oh yes, that's fantastic.
Yeah, from how many countries?
We have lifters from 19 countries.
Okay.
Mainly Asian countries. From Oceanias, we have New Zealand, Australia, and Fiji.
Okay.
For African, we have the South African team.
Okay, fantastic. It's going. Everyone here is very, very excited to be coming through and to be competing, because it's going to be something very special for this region to compete for the first time together.
Oh yeah, this is the first time to combine 3 continents together.
It's going to be fun. And I think it's going to be the start, Josephine, of something very good. So can you tell me, how did this competition come about? What was the idea behind it?
In around 2014, 15, then we think that it is a good idea to have 2 continents to compete together. To start with, it is Asian and Oceania, that is Asian Pacific region. In fact, the Oceania countries is very close to Far East. And it would be good if we can have a championship close to the Far East. Then the Oceania countries can come, and Asian countries certainly can go to Oceania countries relatively easily. Right. So to start with, the first competition was in Australia. And then we alternate, one time in Oceania, one time in Asia. So in 2019, the championship was planned to be in Asia. It was planned to be in Chinese Taipei, but unfortunately, because of the COVID, we have to stop that. And for some reason, Chinese Taipei is not going to host in 2020. And as it is in Asia, Hong Kong took it up. But unfortunately, because of COVID, we have to stop. And finally, after delaying for 2 years, it is relatively safe to have gatherings, and we think it is a good idea to resume it. So finally, after waiting for 3 years, we have the championship reopen again. And this time, because people are looking forward to championships, so the African would like to join in. So it is the first time where 3 continents combined together to have a conjoined championship with everything in one championship. So no one can miss anything. If you want to combine two championships together, that's fine. But in fact, it is a four separate championships.
Good. And it's going to be very exciting. I can see the excitement and the passion that you have for the sport. Can you tell us, Josephine, how did you get started in powerlifting?
So it is somewhat the great incidents. So when I start to do something trying to improve my health,
Mm.
when I was in my late 30s, as you know, I'm an orthopedic surgeon, so I need to do operations, probably not long hours.
Yes.
And I feel that my physique is not as good as when I was young. I start to do some exercise, and strength exercise is good, as my job needs some strength. So that's the beginning. Because of my background in as a medical doctor, and I understand human anatomy and human biomechanics better than other people, so I can make good progress. Then I start to become an athlete myself, and so I start to do Asian Championships, World Level Championships, and then I become a coach, and I take up the responsibility of the Hong Kong weightlifting and powerlifting associations,
Mm-hmm.
and start to organize activities for local people. And of course, I'm getting old. I'm a master free lifter, but still, this is my favorite sports. And I coach lifters who are younger than me or much younger than me. In fact, is the next generation. Powerlifting is a good sport that is good for everyone. Everyone can join, from a young age to elderly. So it is a sport that can make people really unite together, and let them to train up with good habits, especially young people. So under the mission of our association locally is to try to bring sports to the underprivileged, especially
Mm-hmm.
the lower social class children or
Yes.
young people, and let them to really have an opportunity to know what is meant by sports. It's not just a game. It is a training to train up their
Mm-hmm.
strength, physical strength, mental strength, and self-discipline. Um, as an organizer of championships locally, and also as an official of the APF, Asian Powerlifting Federation,
Mm-hmm.
and the International Powerlifting Federation, I would like to express my capability to make a progress in the sports.
Mm-hmm.
So as we met in South Africa, I start the doctor on duty in the World Level Championship. And since November last year, IPF starts to have a doctor on duty to ensure that the well-being of the lifters and also officials. And at times, there may not be first aiders on site.
Mm-hmm.
So as doctor on duty, we have to look after lifters who are injured, be it minor or major, and also make a decision whether the lifter is to continue to compete. And we make
Right.
sure everything enjoys the competition in a safe way.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we are doing a good job. I have many consultations during the championship, be it a minor problem or maybe a more severe problem. And they can have the management on site, and then it saves up a lot of their time or effort to go to find an ambulance or go to the hospital. So I think this is a good trend to improve in various ways in our sports. And hopefully, gradually, this sport can be more widespread and we can get IOC recognition.
Absolutely. That's the goal and the dream. But I
Oh,
think
yeah.
absolutely what you were talking about, the value of the sport, particularly for the for the youth, and I think particularly for disadvantaged youth, where they struggle to find things to do that are healthy for them, that keep them off the street and keep them out of trouble. Can you talk a little bit more about what you would like to see happening in Hong Kong for with the powerlifting?
I would say in all societies, there is always a group of underprivileged people. They are of the lower social class, low income group, and the parents may not have a good education. They may not be able to arrange the children to have healthy activities, be it physical activities or artistic activities. So these young people may just go out and join other people who are really bad people and may attract them to do something illegal, like trafficking of medication or drugs, something like that. And this is what we want to see. And uh, in Hong Kong, many young people go to the gym. You know, if you go to a commercial gym, there is a certain amount of charge. They need to pay an amount of money in order to have some training or to have some activities in the gym. So what we advocate is a sort of a low level of payment for some powerlifting class. And all these classes are taught by our coaches, which are registered coaches. They have experience in the sports, and they are themselves maybe elite level powerlifters. And to try to make them really enjoy the sports and to be mentored, I have to find a group of volunteers. So they are the lifter volunteers. They are younger people, but they perform well at school. And I try to find those who are at the university level. They are either university students or university graduates, and try to mentor these younger people. So these younger people may be lower than 20 years old, and they don't do well at school, and they are so difficult to find a good job. So we try to bring them to the sports, because if you keep talking to them, they're not going to listen to old people. And so I cannot teach these young people directly myself. So I have to find younger people, maybe in the early 20s, try to be their mentors and be their friends and teach them how to do the sports. I think we have some maybe 20 to 30 people who have joined that class. You know, sometimes because they are in a underprivileged group, they do not have the equipment. And then this is always a hurdle to really get them into the sports. But I think we do whatever we can do. And there are lifters who are from this kind of family background can go to our national team. So they find a way, at least to kickstart something that they can really have an achievement. So I think that what our target to make it a really popular sports is not just for people to adults, but they try to bring it into the society. People can really enjoy it and have fun, or at least find something really good out of it.
What is special? I think out of any sport, what makes powerlifting so special is it's easy to teach. You don't. It's simpler to teach maybe than Olympic lifting, and the benefit is so wonderful. For any sport that you do, you need to be strong. So any sport that they're trying to do, this helps. We've had several young people in South Africa that we've trained for rugby, and they've fallen in love with the powerlifting so much they've rather stayed with powerlifting and become coaches rather than pursue a career in rugby, and it's changed their lives. It's the most wonderful thing. How is the powerlifting community for you? What is special about the powerlifting community?
Yeah, you're exactly right. Strength is the basis for all the sports, be it rugby, be it
Yes.
a good basic strength. And to train up a basic strength, the free lifts in the powerlifting again is very useful. It is a whole body exercise, can build up whole body strength, and this is good as a background for other sports, and also good for body health. And you need muscle strength, you need muscle endurance in order to preserve your bone mass and muscle mass. That is good for the majority of ordinary people. And powerlifting is easier to learn than weightlifting, and you can practice it in most of the commercial gyms. So it can be a very popular sport among all levels of individual. So become the top level or elite level powerlifter, certainly you need a prolonged period of training, dedication. But for ordinary people, they can still enjoy the sports without a very prolonged period of learning. So they will develop interest in it. Unlike weightlifting, sometimes you need a special platform, a special gym, and then it's more technique dependent. You take a long time in order to develop the skill. So I think this is a good sports for everyone, and then it will be just useful for health benefit, especially for middle age and the elderly.
So can
And
we
it is
talk?
good for young people as well. Yeah.
Yes. Can we talk a little bit more about that for middle-aged and older people, the benefits for them with the powerlifting?
Yeah, as one grows older and as we pass through the peak bone mass age, which is usually at the third decade. That is, after 40 years, your bone mass starts to deteriorate. So usually at the rate of 1% per year. And in women, after menopause, the deterioration is much faster, 3% a year. But if you have some strength and stimulation to the bone and the loss is much the in a lower trend, in a slower trend, I mean. So you can preserve your bone mass or muscle mass till a later age. And the musculoskeletal system for function. And then you can enjoy a better physique and you can have a better quality of life, especially when you get older. So for powerlifting, you can see there are lifters in the Master 4 that is over 70 years old, but over 80. The eldest powerlifter I have seen is in their 90s. They can still do the sports, although they are not lifting a weight like a young people. But they can still able to lift, and they are in good health. They can enjoy traveling. So I think this is already very good for majority of the people. So even if they do competitive powerlifting, if they train up the lifts of powerlifting, they can enjoy a better health. And this is good for majority of the people. And then this is one way to prevent osteoporotic fractures, sarcopenia, which is a health problem, which is very prevalent in many countries.
And then I think, Doc, as well for balance and coordination, for reflexes to prevent falling, it can the strength training can help.
It would help, especially in elderly, if they train up, because the powerlifting is the lifts require good coordination. So this is a sort of training that would help. But for most of the people, if they are not too old, they can do it readily. And for very old people to start with, it may not be the free lifts of powerlifting. They can start doing with some lightweight exercise, and there will be progressive improvement. And in fact, we have trained up new students who are in their 80s, and finally they can do the lift and enjoy to be an athlete.
How wonderful is that? There was a lady, an athlete from Japan, I think she was 86, and she bench pressed her body weight at 60 kilos. I think that's fantastic.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you keep training, your body strength can still be maintained till a later age. That's good. It's a sort of a happy life that the elderly will certainly feel their life is really enjoyable.
And that's what it's about. We work hard all our lives. We want to enjoy our later life. We want to be able to move. You spoke about being able to travel. If you can move freely, you can travel freely, and you're not stuck in one place looking at your living room walls. The ability to get up and to go, it's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, exactly.
For Doc, how do you to chat about the community and the people within powerlifting? How do you find that? What do you enjoy about it?
I think powerlifting, it seems to be a sport for individual, but in fact, uh, you need a team to support you during the training and also during competition, especially in equipped powerlifting.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason for the number of coaches allowed, one lifter, three coaches. That means you need people to support you during the championship, and lifters support one another in order to do their maximum performance in the competition. So in fact, it is always teamwork. It is not a man show. And so I think that is good, especially for young people, if they train up together, support each other
Mm-hmm.
during the championship and also during the training, and they have good communication. I think this is something very useful to develop the character, learn how to collaborate with other people,
Mm-hmm.
listen to other people, and to understand other people.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you've been involved in the sport for quite a while. Have you got friendships that you started when you started lifting, and you are still friends? And seeing people again at competitions and so on.
Oh, yes, exactly, especially in the Masters Championship.
Yeah.
So we say championship, we are not just fighting to be the number one or the world champions. In fact, every year we may meet one another and say hello, and then see other people life. And of
Mm-hmm.
course, to go into one championship, certainly the competition is the main stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
of course, touring to other countries is also very enjoyable. And to meet friends, to do some sightseeing at the same time enjoying the championship. So it is a wonderful thing, especially for masters lifters.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's uh, the to see how people were getting on at Worlds now, at Sun City and at all the internationals. It's a wonderful place to be, and it's a wonderful thing to experience. So, with your competition that's coming up now, will it be open to the public? Can people come through and support the lifters?
Oh, certainly. People are very welcome to come. And
Mm,
we certainly want large number of audience. But
mm,
even if the people are not free because it is in the daytime,
mm.
they can always watch the championship through the YouTube channels. And we have
Okay,
real-time broadcasting.
fantastic.
Uh, and of course,
What
they can.
channels?
It is a YouTube channel
Okay,
of the Asian Powerlifting Federation.
Federation.
If
Okay.
you go to the
Mm.
website of the APF, you can access to the video instantaneously.
Ah, fantastic. Okay. I'll share the link for the website here on the show. Okay, lovely. Josephine, is there anything you would like to add before we finish? Because I know you're busy and I don't want to take too much more of your time. And I'm very grateful for your time to be able to chat to you.
And at the moment, certainly
Mhm.
powerlifting is developing,
Mm,
and we understand that there are a lot of advantages to the health of the people, suitable for all age group, but still it is not a very popular sport. So
mm,
as IPF members and also APF members, local powerlifting association member, we would like to promote the sports as far as possible. So certainly you are helping us a lot to really bring the sports to other people,
mm.
let other people know what is powerlifting. But I think we need more than that. And
Yes.
hopefully the other medias can really show the good side of our sports, how people are training hard in order to achieve a result. And there are very good stories to tell people that powerlifters are doing a good job in various ways.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, it's the most wonderful sport because it challenges you physically and mentally, and it helps you get stronger physically and mentally. And I've worked with a lot of addicts in recovery, and the one thing that is so wonderful with the lifting for them is to start to build their self belief because people who with addiction, they have very big egos, but they don't believe in themselves at all. And the weight is a wonderful way to bring down your ego, but it's then you can start to build yourself up. I think that's one of the reasons the sport is very special to me. And you know, it is that's why we're doing this, because we want as many people as possible to find out. You know, and we've got over 400 subscribers now, which is something, it doesn't sound like a lot, but it's something it's a wonderful number to hit. And we're looking forward to hitting 500 and then 1,000. But we want as many people to know about the sport as well, because it will add such value to their lives when they join and when they participate.
Yes,
Mm.
exactly. So
Yeah.
how to bring people realize that it brings value to their life is
Yes,
really important.
in every aspect. Oh, Josephine, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. I know it's quite late there. It's after 9 o'clock. And
Well, thank
but
you very much for the opportunity.